If you look at the very best in the world, Neeraj Chopra, yeah? Neeraj Chopra, he's Indian, he comes from fantastic background in Haryana. He trains in the UK, amongst other places, to become excellent. To become excellent, you need international competition, and you need to be at the very best. And I think India is attracting the very best and should continue to do so. I think India will be one of the 3 defining countries of the rest of my life, of my lifetime. What happens in India on environment, what happens in India on health, what happens in India on food security, all those things will define what happens in the world, alongside, I agree, China and the United States. That is a very exciting prospect for India. It's also a change in the way the world works. A generation ago, I started in diplomacy. The richest countries in the world are the most powerful. That has changed. And India is setting essentially a new paradigm for how you exercise power at the same time as you drive internal development.
I am delighted that the High Commissioner is cheering for Neeraj Chopra, which is fantastic. You're pressing all the right buttons as a diplomat. I also hope in the same way you will be rooting for Rohit Sharma and the Indian team rather than the English team, sir. Now he's British first.
No. There are many things you learn.
It doesn't go that far.
There are many things you learn in India. One is the value of not speaking and just rolling your head a bit. India should be, I think they're favourites, marginal favourites for the World Cup.
Your team is?
And I think India probably is. Home advantage
No,
matters.
we want you to think your favourites.
I will always put India as the favourite. I think England has a very strong team. England is the holding champion, is the reigning champion at 50 overs. It's the reigning champion at 20 overs. It has an outstanding side. We were terrible at one-day cricket for about 10, 20 years, but now we're back and very strong. You need good spinners. I think it was Rajdeep Sardesai was saying that to me, and I think he's right. New Zealand have some good spinners. We have good spinners. You need power in the middle order. 5, 6, 7 have to score fast in very few balls. And that's interesting to see from India. I think they have great opening batsmen. I think they have, Jasprit Bumrah, they have the X factor. Can they get the power through the middle order? But I think that getting R. Ashwin back is a very good thing for India because he has the craft to bowl good spin.
It's fantastic. I like the depth and the passion. And it must really be like that. It can't be any other way. So it's fantastic. You play some cricket yourself, sir?
I do.
You bat, you bowl, you field?
Yeah, sadly, I think that my chance of getting into the England squad is looking small at the moment, although I'm always available and ready to play. I'm glad you laughed. I still play. It's a great game. It's lovely playing in India, actually. It's a very different experience. Going to the games is fantastic. I'll be at the opening match tomorrow in Ahmedabad. I'll try and get to see England play in Delhi. I'll try and get to Kolkata as well. I think it's a wonderful opportunity to see different parts. And also, I've actually played at Eden Gardens, but I've never watched a game there. And that has to be on the bucket list of things you do in India.
Fascinating, very fascinating. We're very happy for England to do really well till it comes to the finals or whenever it comes across India and lose. I mean, till then, we're very delighted for England to do really well. They have been setting the benchmark, which hasn't been the case, as you yourself said, for a long time. They're a formidable team. We're just trying to keep expectations very low. The problem with India and Indians is we get carried away about this, about the possibility of our team doing well, with people like you saying, oh, you're favorites. We don't want to be favorites. We just want to go out and play well. We just want to go out and play well. I see you watch a lot of Hindi movies.
I do. I should have mentioned just before we get off. The other thing we have is Ben Stokes. When you get into the knockout games, if England gets to a semi-final or a final, which I hope they will, I was at the 2019 final when I saw what Stokes did in that final. By the way, I was at the 1983 final as well. That was a good game to go to. Hindi movies, I'm trying to learn Hindi. The G20 has not been kind to my Hindi.
Why is that?
Because there's so much work. G20 बहुत काम दिया.
Fantastic. तो कितनी अच्छी है आपकी हिंदी?
मेरी हिंदी आजकल मेरी हिंदी खराब है. मेरी शिक्षिका बहुत गुस्से हैं क्योंकि गुस्से हैं क्योंकि हर दिन में G20 मंत्री आते हैं कम करता हूँ इसलिए मेरी हिंदी नहीं.
तो कितना अभ्यास करते हैं आप? कितनी प्रैक्टिस करते हैं हिंदी बोलने?
Not enough. क्योंकि मैं एक कक्षा करता हूँ हर हफ्ते, more or less. But it's language requires work, and I haven't worked hard enough. So I'm going to try and use the World Cup to get my cricket Hindi back in shape. The first words in Hindi I learned here were actually playing cricket. Koi bat nahi, as I dropped another catch. It was so embarrassing. I might try and use the World Cup, and I welcome any suggestions of good phrases to learn for cricket.
नहीं, अगर इंग्लैंड सही टाइम पे इंडिया से हार जाए तो हम लोग सब कहेंगे कोई बात नहीं.
I'm not even going to respond to that.
It's like I'm a diplomat. I know when the ball is swinging outside the off stump, I can just keep my bat in. I don't need to stick my bat out. We let Stokes do the rest.
Yeah, very wise.
So what Hindi film have you watched recently?
I watched Sholay again the other day. What else?
So Sholay or Chole? Oh, sorry.
Well, that's all right. I make mistakes all the time. I've been watching Panchayat, the series, which is really good. Fantastic series and also good for my Hindi as well. I was watching, what's the show with Saif Ali Khan?
Saif Ali Khan.
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
Come on, Bombay, help me.
Sacred
Games?
Yeah, Sacred Games. It's a very good show, and I know Saif from times past, so it's very nice to see. I must admit, I switched a little bit back into English to watch Barbie, and which was a fantastic film, as well as Oppenheimer. So I'm pretty eclectic in my taste. I haven't yet. I've watched Gangs of Wasseypur, Part 1. I learned some very interesting vocabulary from that film. Maybe more for the cricket pitch than people saying Part 2 is very good as well. Actually, it's a beautifully made film, so I might try and watch Part 2 next.
मेरे पास आपके लिए एक सुझाव है. अपनी हिंदी सुधारने का एक बहुत अच्छा तरीका है कि आप दिन में आधा घंटे आज तक देख लें. हम लोगों का जो हिंदी चैनल है, उससे भी आपकी हिंदी खूब सुधरेगी.